Well, good morning. Yeah, I haven't done a 555 video for a while. Today's the day. And the title of this video is Listening In on Conversation with Bloodline Family Members. It was definitely an education as I listened to the artist talk for the first time with the ambassador. For me, it was a different kind of conversation than I'm used to, since it revealed inner workings of dragon family culture that I knew nothing about before yesterday. Yes, I am referring to the lady as the artist, and I will not reveal her name until she chooses to do so herself, the same as with the ambassador. I will have further conversations with them, and some of which will be recorded and posted for the public. In the meantime, I want to say that the thing that impressed me the most about the artist's attitude is her strong desire to heal using the power of unconditional love. Her vision even includes healing demons, jinn, archons, and other dark entities created by Lucifer for malevolent purposes. This coincides with my own vision of inclusion, leaving no creature behind and allowing all to find a place of repentance and redemption. To me, that shows what I hope is the true character of the Creator of all that is. The conversation lasted 3 hours approximately yesterday, although we were trying to end it, probably 45 minutes or more before it actually did end, because the ambassador was hungry and it was getting very late his time. But the artist had many stories to share. And again, some things that she shared I was hearing for the first time. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I want her to be the one that chooses to do that, to reveal things as she feels the timing is correct. Timing is a very important thing to her, and I believe to many people in the family. And so is respect. Respect for the family ties, respect for the bloodline, respect for human blood. That it's really, really important to them that respect be shown, and that people's purpose be recognized and accepted. It's what the role was, and I want to talk about that a little bit, because as I'm learning, and again, I'm learning, and you're having the opportunity as you listen to me to learn with me, because there are many things, folks, that we don't know. One of the things that has come out in this conversation, and I think she hinted at it actually in some previous conversations with me when it was just the two of us, but demons and jinn and the things that we call evil entities were a special creation by Lucifer, by the little gods, that was for the purpose of defeating God, the Creator, the super God's plan, if you will, the capital G-O-D, the prime force, for defeating that plan to bless and to love. It was purposeful interference in the creation of life. It was purposeful. And these beings were created to be bad. Now, some of you may remember that I've talked in the past about the hidden hand material, in which whoever was revealing that information about the Illuminati or the bloodline families said that their role is to be 95% evil, and they fail in their mission if they develop too much goodness. that's not what they were created to be and to do. The artist shares that she knew from the beginning that she was a paradigm buster. I believe that the ambassador has also discovered that, and my hope and prayer is that there are other bloodline family members who also are realizing that their way is over. And there are people there that came in to do some healing at the levels where creation has been most challenged by these beings, including Lucifer, who had it in their mind to, actually they didn't even have it in their mind. They don't even have, in a sense, they don't even have complete free will, if I'm understanding this thing correctly. And again, it's what I'm seeing and hearing is challenging my conception of what reality is, my perception of reality is. I'm seeing things from a perspective that I haven't looked at it before. And as I indicated in yesterday's video, I'm going to allow the artist to talk with you about why she believes that we're moving out of duality. Now, as I've meditated on that further, including when I was driving down to hear my son play last night at the Kilted Mermaid, which was a tremendous evening. Two friends from Facebook joined me there, and it was a really fun evening. But in any case, I was meditating as I was driving down about this duality thing, and I really think that I need to let her define what she means by duality, because that's, I think, a lot of the issue that I have, because to me, duality just simply means the presence of opposite polarities. And I don't see the possibility of life existing without opposite polarities. There has to be, especially masculine and feminine energies, and positively charged and negatively charged particles, if you will, but particles are nothing but compressed energy. And everything is energy. Everything is magnetism. The electromagnetic thing is part of creation to me. Now, but I need to let her define that. And the ambassador doesn't believe that God is in everything. I don't understand how that could possibly be, because to me, nothing is made without him, without the creator. Nothing is made that is made, even if it was made by Lucifer, which is why redemption or reconciliation of the jinn, the demons, the dark entities with the ultimate creator of all that is, including Lucifer coming back home as the prodigal son that went away, and the ultimate prodigal son coming back home from the far country and saying, "Father, I'm ready to serve you." And the father putting a royal robe on him and saying, "Hey, let's have a feast. This my son was dead and is alive again. He was blind and now he sees." Because this whole idea of wanting to be like the Most High, like our Creator, can really backfire. Because even though to me the Creator is in all of creation, he's allowed creation to go on this journey into the far country, wandering away and doing all sorts of things that seem to be against life itself, against creation itself, insane things, psychopathic, sociopathic things. And that has to change if we're going to have peace in this corner of the cosmos. And my desire ultimately is that peace reign throughout the cosmos. That this experiment of creating dark entities with malevolent intent and purpose, this whole experiment has to come to an end. Now maybe that's part of life too. Some would suggest that it is. I would hope it's not. And if that's what she means by coming out of duality into unity, where the polarization stops, where the dance is finally enjoined by all members of creative society and creation society, where the dark and the light no longer fight, where the masculine and feminine make love and not war, where the light and the dark merely provide contrast so that we can see clearly and appreciate beauty, whereas if everything was total darkness, we wouldn't see. If everything was total light, we'd be equally blinded. I've said that in previous videos. In any case, listening to the artist tell parts of her story, some of which I had heard before and some of which I was hearing for the first time, sharing them with the ambassador, I want to just say that she's aware of stuff that goes on, like in the Bohemian Grove. She was born in Berkeley, California, and grew up in San Francisco and the Haight-Ashbury district. She's lived in New Orleans. She's also been in the Big Apple, New York City, and been in various other parts of the country as well on her journey. But she knows some of the inside things about growing up in her teenage years, for example, in her middle school and teenage years with members of the Chinese mafia, which she calls, the ambassador refers to it as the triad, and that's what it's known as in Hong Kong. But there's a Chinese word, the Wang. I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna. I'm not sure what the Chinese word. She grew up with these people, and the kids. She saw how the kids were being trained. Her classmates were being trained by the family that they grew up in the culture that they grew up in. And they were expected to be violent, expected to be criminals. That's how they were trained. And it's part of the family. And she proposed to the ambassador that he take the message that she gave back to the old man, back to the emperor, back to the family that he's connected with, both in China and in Europe and in other parts of the world because of his position. And she wanted the message to be that there's a way to heal. There's a way to become whole. Even though your creation was that you were here for just an experiment, just for a temporal duration of time, spanning many generations and eons in human conception, but nevertheless a temporary creation. But she's saying, God, that's not fair. It's not fair that they should be left to die, that they should simply be rejected. I don't want anyone left behind, because I'm coming from a place of love, because I've discovered in my heart that love heals. I've used unconditional love to heal me, to heal myself, and I've watched it heal others. And I have keys that will release people from the generational curses, even though she herself still struggles financially because of all the financial hardships that have been placed on her. And the ambassador gave her some wisdom and said, we don't have to keep believing in this generational curse. We don't have to keep believing in the dark prophecies, in the cataclysms and the Armageddons of war. We can do it a different way. And this is the vision that they were sharing with each other, because they share that vision with me, that we don't have to do it with war, that we can reconcile the ministry of Christ, the ministry of the only Son of God, which is Christ to me and all of us. That ministry is reconciliation. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. But as many as received him, he gave the power to become the children of God in practice. I think we were already children of God. Some don't see it that way. And I will let the ambassador talk more about that in a future video. Because I'm learning. I don't have all the answers. I have perceptions based on my filters, based on my experience, based on my journey through this lifetime, and everything that I can remember and piece together, perhaps from other lifetimes that I've lived. In any case, I have to be able to allow myself to wipe the slate clean and develop a childlike mind of learning, of relearning, of letting go of things that no longer serve me, ideas that are not necessarily true. It's not that I'm trying to be dishonest or anything, but I'm recognizing that, like everyone else on this planet, there's been a lot of deception, and I've been deceived myself. I don't know it all. So I encourage you to stay tuned as I bring you more of my own journey of learning, and allow others along the way that are brought to me to share parts of their journey, so that together we can grow up, so that we can be reconciled, so that we can become whole, be healed of all the things that have wounded and caused suffering in our lives for eons and generations and times upon time. But we're in a time right now when the old is passing away. And as the one who sat on the throne said, "Behold, I make all things new." This is the time that we're living in, the time without time. Thank you for listening. Namaste.